Hello and welcome to Connected, episode 610. It's made possible by our friends at Squarespace. I am your annual chairman, Stephen Hackett, and I am joined by everyone's friend, Mike Hurley.
I am everybody's friend. Hello, I am Mike Hurley, and I have the pleasure of introducing the keynote chairman, Federico Viticci. Hi, Federico.
Hello, I'm nobody's friend.
Oh,
wow. It's lonely at the top.
That's what happens when
right?
you're the two-time keynote chairman. You're like the reigning defendant. You get no friends. That's a lonely job.
It's a tough job, but somebody's got to do it.
And you are doing it. You are, in fact, doing it. Speaking of which, so we had a constitutional convention on the last week's episode where we changed some rules for the Rickies, and Andrew wrote in and said, there is a flaw with the bonus pick changes. I don't like this framing to begin with. I don't like this framing. Andrew has decided, apparently, that there is a flaw. Well, I don't agree. Anyway, by not rolling over to the next year, there is now an incentive for your annual picks to all come true before a September or October event. Anything that happens in Q4 is disincentivized because you do not get a bonus pick you can actually use. Perhaps allow carryover, but they must be used in the first event of the new year.
Andrew, have you seen Q4 in Apple News for the past few years? Like, have you seen the stuff that happens in November and December?
That was my first thought. I was like, wait, the phone's in September, but a lot of years they do have an October event that's like Mac and iPad stuff.
Yeah. But also, this is like, I think I thought I mentioned this, but anyway, I have this thought, right? Which is like, the September event is easy to predict.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
So that is like picks on easy mode for the annual Rickies. So you need to pick, if you want the bonus picks, you have to go a bit more ambitious. That's what I think. But anyway, no, I'm happy with it.
I think that actually shows that there is a bit of an issue because more ambitious picks would be potentially that October event. I actually agree with Andrew. I think we have created this black hole at the end of the year that no one can escape from.
Oh, well.
Okay. So we're going to leave it? Are we leaving it?
I mean, what? So what do you want to do? You want to roll over the picks for all of eternity? Like, what are we talking
I think
about?
what Andrew's right. Like, they roll over to the first event of the year.
So WWDC.
I mean, that is the problem if there's not a March event, I guess.
And then there so seldom is. So...
Okay.
Nah.
I think you got to just cut it off somewhere. Okay. I think we should just run it in the way that we have predicted.
And if there are issues, one, Andrew, gets to walk around saying he was right. But we can deal with it. Like, we need to deal with it, I guess. We need to experience it, which will be
but also we're currently
now.
Experiencing it. In the next event, we all have bonus picks.
Yeah, that's probably true. I haven't actually looked.
No, we do.
Oh, we do. I
have
did
two,
look.
and I have one.
Yes,
so,
I graded it.
It's obviously working already.
Yes,
I think it's fine.
Okay. I thought it was.
Oh, Mike got really upset though. Like,
yeah, because I don't like someone saying there is a flaw. You know what, Andrew? You're a flaw.
Wow.
Okay.
And there goes Andrew's membership straight out the window.
Well, you win some to lose some.
Wow.
I think that's how that works.
Okay. I thought it was a point worth discussing. Andrew, you're not a flaw.
It is a point worth discussing. We've discussed it, but I think it's fine as it is. And if it isn't, we'll just tweak it because nothing's set in stone forever. I don't want to create like so if we're doing rolling over, we just added a new complication, and we were supposed to be simplifying this because nobody liked the way that the previous bonus pick thing was working.
Okay.
Well, now nobody's a strong word. Okay.
All three of us in the last episode said we didn't like it.
Yeah.
And that it was too confusing.
Yeah, but like, okay, sure.
All right. We'll leave it as is.
I mean, nobody is in us three, Not the Andrews of the world.
Right.
You got to lay off Andrew, man. Come on.
I will not. I refuse.
Do you know this Andrew personally? Like, do you have an
I know some Andrews.
Okay.
I don't know which Andrew it is.
Okay.
Wow.
I assume you don't like those Andrews.
No, I do.
Oh, you do? Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
Okay.
Anyway, sorry, Andrew, but thanks for the suggestion.
Thank you for the suggestion, Andrew. I appreciate your loving care of the Rickies Constitution.
Yeah, that's much better after an intervention from PR. Thank you, Mike.
Follow up. Federico, you laid a trap for yourself in the past that you fell into.
I did.
You did.
Yes.
You
Yes, I
absolutely did.
Well, can you blame me though? So
Yeah.
no,
I blame
and
you.
let me tell you why. Let me
It's
tell
not
you
like
why.
John picked up your phone and did this. I mean,
let me explain this concept to you. Okay, sometimes, many times in life, if you have enough conviction and self-esteem, you can be rightfully wrong. Okay, have you ever been rightfully wrong? Let me tell you why.
You need to lay it out for me, and then I can decide.
All right. So we're looking at Siri AI, and we're talking about Siri AI, and I mentioned how for me it's kind of working, but some things, random things, strangely enough, are not. Like, for example, I can create reminders, but I cannot fetch my reminders. I cannot find my reminders due today. And same with my calendar events. And same with some apps, but not others. And so this has been going on for the first 2 betas of iOS 27. Happens, again, sometimes on the iPhone, other times on the iPad. And I think, well, that's very strange. And Apple tells me, oh, look, that's a bug and we're working on it. And we're like, okay, sure. Now I get this message from a person from Paul on Mastodon saying, hey, this is going to sound totally strange, but I think I figured it out. I think I know what's happening with with you being unable to find reminders and calendar events in Siri AI. And he tells me, take a look at settings. So open the settings app and then don't go in the Siri section. Go in the separate search section and see if by any chance, years ago, you may have disabled the toggle under reminders or under calendars that says show content in search. And try turning it on again and see if that actually fixes things for you, because it did for me, because I was having the exact same issue as you. And I remember that years ago when Spotlight on iOS was really bad and slow, I turned off some sources to speed it up and make it better. But now that option was conflicting with Siri AI in iOS 2017. And I thought, well, that's confusing, but sure, I'll try. And I did, and sure enough, it actually fixed it. Mm-hmm. Now, let me explain why I'm rightfully wrong. First of all, this was a solution to a problem that was affecting me years ago. And so I had to find a way to make Spotlight better on iOS by disabling some sources. Also, the design of those sources in Spotlight at the time was terrible.
Yeah.
Now, additionally, explain to me the thinking or the design or lack thereof, I suppose, of having in iOS 2017 two
27.
separate...
You keep calling it 2017, which is brilliant.
27. It's
2017.
These years are so confusing. Why did they stop calling iOS 18, 19, 20? That was so much better. Explain to me why in iOS 27 we have settings, search, and then a list of apps with a toggle called show content in search and another called show app in search. But then you also have down below settings, Siri. Then if you scroll down, you have app access. And then if you open the same app like calendar, you have 5 toggles. Learn from this app, show in app, show on home screen, suggest app and suggestion notifications. Why is a toggle that controls Siri AI behavior tucked under search?
Well, it's because the index, right?
So this is not confusing to you at all?
I don't say it's not confusing, but I'm answering your question.
Now tell me what you think. Tell me, do you think it's good design?
No, I don't think it's good design. I don't think it's good design. But it is interesting to me that you're just like, this is not my fault at all.
It's not my fault.
Okay.
It's not my fault.
Sure?
It's not my fault. Imagine if you, I don't know, What's something dumb that your government has done, Mike? I mean, besides Brexit.
I don't really want to play that game, if I'm being honest with you.
What's
Because
something?
whatever I say, Federico, it's not the thing that people want me to say.
Imagine,
so I'm not gonna play
that you had
game.
to find a workaround to something that was terrible, but you found a workaround years ago, and now for totally unrelated reasons that you could have not foreseen at the time, that workaround is
I've
coming back to
absolutely
bite
fallen
you.
into these traps. Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Like, look, it's not my fault the spotlight was horrible years ago, but now you cannot tell me that it's my fault if Siri AI is for some reason depending on that toggle.
I mean, what
that is also
should happen?
That is also in the wrong section.
Is the system should ask you, right?
Yes. The system should ask me
Yeah.
again, be like, hey, I see that you asked for reminders, but actually that access is disabled. Simple as that.
I cannot access this. Would you like me to turn it on?
Yes.
I have a question for you, Federico, about your screenshot.
Okay.
So you have a reminder in this screenshot which says more John feedback for archive.
Yeah.
There's a lot of text in this reminder.
Yeah. You know what I do sometimes? John sends
Yeah.
me many messages every day.
And you make
And-
him pay for it.
No, I just take the whole message, copy the whole text, and I attach it to the notes field of a reminder.
Right. Oh, so this is John said this.
Yeah.
Okay. I thought that this was like this, you were like, I have some thoughts that I need to put into this reminder. And I'm
No,
going to
no,
give
no,
it
no.
to John
I
later.
take the whole iMessage
Right.
that John sends me and I turn all of that into a reminder.
Okay.
Yeah. I mean, it's the only way to deal with John. John, I know. No,
the only way.
it's not a criticism. Has many ideas, many thoughts, many comments, especially when he's testing something.
Mhm.
He's very nitpicky. And the only way to deal with is that a word like nitpickiness
It is.
of it all?
Nittiness, pickiness.
Yeah,
That's
it's to
not
take
it.
the whole thing and save it somewhere. Yeah. Mm-mm.
Did you deal with this feedback?
I did, and I don't know if the changes are live, but I did send the updated archive to our developer. Yeah,
More feedback for John.
more.
I have some feedback.
For John?
So for everyone. So I was on LinkedIn the other day.
Ugh.
Hey,
was-
stop
I was-
right there. Stop right there.
Yeah.
Why?
I'm trying.
For
Yeah.
what? Are you leaving?
I'm just trying to be a business person.
Okay.
Sometimes you got to post business things on LinkedIn so that other business people know you're a business person.
I actually
Oh.
can't judge. I'm serving on a board at my university,
Serving on
and
serving on a board.
I
You
am.
guys are all so
Whoa.
fancy. Okay.
And part of what we do
Humble
is
brag.
we give out awards and we give out scholarship money to journalism students.
Is this how we get you to a doctorate? Is this how we do it?
So here's the thing. The thing that I had to post as hey, please share this with your network, was the form to nominate people for Distinguished Journalism Alumni, which is an award I desperately want from the University of Memphis. And now I think I can't earn it because I'm on the board. It's hard to say.
Oh, that sucks.
I may have overshot, but I would take an honorary doctorate, obviously. So
Obviously, who wouldn't?
University of Memphis, if you're listening, and I know you are, hit your boy up.
With a big medal. So I post things on LinkedIn. It's
Okay.
just how I
Okay.
am. No, this is something I've been trying to do more of recently. While on LinkedIn, I was served a post from someone who is a creative director at Apple who was sharing their Cannes Lions entry for the MacBook Neo TikTok campaign. Now,
Wait,
bit
what?
of-
Can you repeat that
Yeah.
sentence?
I'm going to give you, I already knew this was going to be a problem, so I'm going to give you some context, right? Cannes Lions is a thing which has now become something else because now, like, everybody on Instagram and TikTok was at Cannes Lions, which they're now turning into a festival of creativity. It's just brands activating. But Cannes Lions, historically, it is an advertising award ceremony. And brands can submit their best advertising campaigns to Cannes Lions to hopefully win an award because people want awards. Work I have been a part of once in my life did win a Cannes Lion, but I had already left the company, which was very frustrating because I would have loved to have gotten that because that was my idea. But anyway, this person who's a creative director at Apple shared on LinkedIn their nomination slide, because you put together like a one-sheet presentation thing for the MacBook Neo that they were a part of. So they submitted it to Cannes Lions to win a Cannes Lion. In the entry is the following quote: TLDR became the #1 citation in TikTok's AI search summary and one brand new internet icon in, quote, Lil Finder Guy. So this is the first thing I've been able to find of someone at Apple referring to the Finder mascot by a name. Now, they put the name in quotes, right? Because they don't actually refer to the character by that name in anywhere else in this presentation,
Right.
except in referencing to what the internet calls this character.
Right.
So this is the closest I've gotten to my plea of Apple, name the mascot.
So just so you confirm me, we are giving out awards to TikTok campaigns?
It's an advertising campaign. So yeah,
Okay.
you give an award to any advertising campaign.
All right.
And look, Federico, it was a real
Yeah.
good one.
Maybe I should stop saying unpopular things,
Please say it. Go on.
No.
Say it.
Mm-mm. I think TikTok is ruining us as a species.
That's
Sure.
Not that's not controversial.
Yeah, but this is a different thing to that. I mean, I'm not disagreeing with that, but at all. In fact, I do agree with it. But this is just a thing that happened, right? Like this is just a thing that happened.
Okay.
So this is the closest I've gotten, and so
But
I
also,
continue.
hold on a second. So this
Yeah.
person, right?
Yep.
They seem to be pretty young,
Yes, they are a Gen Zer.
right? What are they doing on TikTok, on LinkedIn?
They're a business person.
Right.
They work at a corporation, right? They work
I'm
at
just
Apple.
trying to reconcile the type of energy that I would expect from a TikTok campaign and
If
a
you
post
want to
on
get
LinkedIn.
ahead, if you work at Apple and you want to get ahead, you have to be on LinkedIn and do exactly what this person did. I was responsible for this campaign, right? Like and so they're only doing it so it's like on their profile and it's like a thing that you can point to. For the same reason that I'm on LinkedIn, I'm like, hey everyone on LinkedIn, look at this successful Kickstarter campaign I had. Like that's what I'm doing on LinkedIn, right?
Man,
Like,
you're so
just
much more
trying to,
businessy than I am. You always have been, though.
I'm a business person.
I cannot do the things you do, like the business.
I think that's fine. But that's because someone's got to do them, right?
Can you do it for me?
I think I do, right? At least with this part of your business, right? I did it. We're here. Here I am. I'm being business for you. Do you need me to do more business for you? Doesn't John do that?
Well,
I think John does
because
that.
we have yes, but also like we don't. I think you're good at it.
Thank you. Yeah, I mean, this is actually a conversation.
I think you actually like it.
Yes, I do like it. Yes.
Yeah. See, that's what I'm trying to get at.
Yeah. Me and Nadine were having this conversation just last night about, just kind of reflecting on what this month has been for me. And like, this is the thing where we're now entering into a conversation I wasn't expecting to have
I'm sorry.
on a podcast at all. No, it's totally fine. I don't have the skills that everybody that I work with has. But what I'm good at is business. Like, I am not as good a writer as you guys. I am not as thoughtful. I am not as intelligent, I think, in the things
You
that you're
are
intelligent in.
intelligent.
In different
What are you
ways.
saying?
I have a different intelligence. And I'm good with that.
You're
right? Like,
intellectually shorter than Federico, is what you're saying.
I'm intellectually shorter than Federico. I'm creatively tinier than Steven. Like, this is just the way it goes. But like, you're really good at the things you're good at. I'm not good at those. But what I bring to the table is things like that. Like, I can help with the businessy stuff, right? That's what I do. So there you go. Cannes Lions, everybody. Cannes Lions, everybody.
This has opened my brain to a whole thing. Thank you, Mike.
Oh, it's a thing, man. Cannes Lions is like a thing. Because everybody just wants awards at the end of the day. That's what it all boils down to.
And so this is obviously different from the Cannes Music Festival. Movie festival.
Film festival. It's only similar in that they're both in Cannes. That's it. They're just both in the place.
Two completely separate things. Okay,
They're completely separate. Yeah. This is the advertising festival essentially, and then you have the film festival.
All right, perfect. Got it.
Cannes is clearly a festival town.
Right. They're like the San Jose used to be a conference town.
It is very much
before.
a conference town. That it still is. But now nobody.
Yeah, San Jose is now a desert town, but that's a different topic.
And to prove my point about everybody wants awards, we started this conversation with Stephen wanting a doctorate. So like everybody just wants awards, and so sometimes
no, you know what I want?
You go to the south of France.
One of my lingering dreams is to get like one of those honorary degrees.
Yeah, that's what we're talking about for Stephen.
Okay.
We all have this wish that a university will say, you're a doctor now. Congratulations, you didn't have to do any of the work.
Yeah, no, the university being just like, you're too good to be just a regular person. We want to give you like a title.
You're so good, like, you don't need to do any of the work.
Yeah.
For this. It'd be amazing, yeah. I would love it. I would love it.
Federico, you were on a podcast I'm familiar with, Mac Power Users.
Yes. Oh, I gotta tell you, man, it's so much better since you left.
Jeez!
You can't say that!
Holy cow!
You can't say this! You can't even joke about that.
Oh, come on, I can't joke about it? I mean, the guy's getting a degree for free.
Cut to...
You gotta bring him down
tonight,
a little.
And Steven's looking in the mirror. And he's like, did he mean that? This is where we are.
I don't mean it. I just want to steer the pot. You know me. I'm a pot stirrer.
No, Stephen Robles is a really good fit for the show. I'm very glad he's there.
It is a very good guy.
He's great.
I actually mentioned on the show that I am honored to have participated in all the different iterations of the show.
Yeah, it's nice, right? I picked up that
all three eras
honorific recently too.
Yeah. Steven, I was kidding. It's just who I am. Or maybe I wasn't, but just I'll leave that up to your conscience.
Know.
I'll leave that up to your conscience to decide and your self-esteem. I know you have plenty. Unlike Mike. So, obviously not as much as
Stephen Robles, super tall, by the way.
Yeah. Yeah, he's a big dude. And is he taller? He's taller than you, Mike.
You know what? I don't know. And I'm just going to say he probably is because it would make sense.
Most people are.
Anyway, really good episode. We nerded out about shortcuts and the new things in shortcuts in macOS and iOS 27, the new natural language creation stuff, some UI issues that we're having, the new actions, and they let me talk for a few minutes about the things that I'm doing with Shortcuts Playground 2, which was fun. And yeah, I was really glad to be on the show with this new combo of co-hosts, and it was fun.
We had a question about your appearance. Sims wrote in and said, on MPU, Federico mentioned that he wrote his WBC blog post on the plane on his phone. Yeah. Why that workflow?
Because it was more comfortable. I was kind of laying down. And I didn't want to get up to get my laptop.
You were laying down?
Yeah. 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 I was like, you know how you can recline the seat when you're flying business? And
no. No, I don't actually.
You don't?
Yeah.
You should try it. You should try it. It's quite comfy. And I was having this little look. I'm just telling the truth.
Yeah.
I was having a little champagne.
There it is.
And I figured, I have an idea for an article, and I just started typing it on the phone, and then one thing led to another, and it was a blog post. When
I'm laying down on the plane and drinking champagne.
When some words really like each other, they eventually make a blog post.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
That's
incredible. But you had so many computers, surely.
Yeah, I had a couple.
It's interesting. Yeah.
Yeah. I had my MacBook Pro, my iPad Pro, my Nintendo Switch, which is not a computer, but is, a device, and my phone. And I just started on the phone, and then I got in a really good groove, and I thought I'm just gonna keep going. And what is it, like 1,500 words or so later. I was like, it's pretty good. I'm going to take a look at it tomorrow because this champagne is kicking in. So yeah, I took another look the day after and it was pretty good still.
Pretty
Okay.
good still. Question. So you said you took your Nintendo Switch.
Yeah.
How many minutes did you play on your Nintendo
0.
Switch? Yeah. Why are you still doing this? Like,
I don't know, man. It
on
makes
one
me
of the
feel...
Mac Stories Universal podcasts, I was hearing John say also what I have felt, which is like, I would take games consoles on trips and never touch them. So he decided not to do it anymore, except his little flippy round rotating thing, because I think he wanted to show people like me about how that thing worked.
I think a part of me, inside of me, does this so I can keep saying this every year. It's almost like a tradition that I know I'm not going to play, but I still take it so that I will be able to say, yeah, I took it, but I never played. I don't know. It's kind of weird. Human behavior can be strange.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, because you think like it's perfect, right? You could just sit and play a video game for 10 hours. It's like, why would we not do that? It's like, I don't know, man. I just want to watch a movie over somebody's shoulder instead. Have you ever done that?
Yeah.
Yeah, of course.
Big time. Yeah.
Like, and just like not listening or watching. And I watched an entire movie over somebody's shoulder once and didn't hear a word of it. Watched the whole thing.
Yeah. No, maybe not a whole movie, but like a good chunk of it. Yeah, I've done it.
It was the movie about McDonald's.
Yes.
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah.
That one.
It's a pretty good movie.
I got what I needed from it. It's called The Founder by Michael Keaton. Watched the whole movie. Didn't hear a word. It didn't have subtitles. I just was like, I'll work this out. And there you go.
Why
did
is
the whole thing.
Batman making French fries?
It was interesting to work out what the movie was about because I didn't start from the start. It was like the movie had begun and I just started watching. It's like, I'll catch on.
Yeah.
Watch the whole thing.
Okay. This episode of Connected is brought to you by Squarespace, the all-in-one website platform designed to help you stand out and succeed online. So whether you're starting something new or you're scaling something you already have, Squarespace has all the tools you need to claim a domain name, showcase your offerings with a professional website, grow your brand, and get paid all in one place. One of the things I love about Squarespace and why I continually recommend them is that you don't have to have all your ducks in a row to get started. Maybe you're not a designer where they've got great templates to start with. And with Blueprint AI, you give Squarespace a bunch of information about your business, and it combines those with those templates to build something beautiful. But maybe you know down the road you're going to have a podcast, or maybe you're going to have a series of videos like a course. You don't have to have that ready on day one. You can build your website and you can add those components later. That's because everything with Squarespace is designed to work together. So from your website to the analytics to email newsletters to content you're selling, SEO tools, everything is built in and it's really easy to use. So head on over to squarespace.com/connected for a free trial. And when you're ready to launch, use the offer code CONNECTED to save 10% off your first purchase of a website or a domain name. That's squarespace.com/connected and the offer code CONNECTED to get 10% off your first purchase. My thanks to Squarespace for their support of the show and all of Relay. Federico, it's summer.
Mm-hmm.
How's the review doing?
It's not. Let me see. Let me take a look at my dashboard. So it's more than 3 weeks since iOS 27 came out. It's day 25. I've only written down a few sentences here and there. Like I think I know, for example, how the review is going to start. I have a line in the introduction. I have taken some notes, but I've not done any proper writing. I have decided that I was going to spend the first month maybe just using it. And it didn't help, of course, that I've only been able to solve Siri AI a few days ago in terms of being able to use it reliably. But I decided to follow and to actually continue down the road that I've followed for the first few years, which is you just use it for the first 3 weeks or so,
Mm-hmm.
and so that you can gather your first impressions for the public beta, and so that you also come to a thought, to an idea on your own, without having seen any of the sessions, without having read the PR material extensively. Just try and reach conclusions or opinions on your own, right? And I haven't watched any videos by other people. Like, this is something that I started doing a few years ago when I also switched the overall review style. And I'm going to continue doing that. The current plan is to start some of the writing in the middle of July. I'm going to have a few days for myself, and I think I'm going to use those days to write some and watch sessions. But in the meantime, my sort of self-organizing system is working beautifully. I have this dashboard that I created with Notion and the help of Fable. And it's actually a little web app that runs on my Mac Studio. It tells me that I have 7 chapters, good to go. I have saved 32 sessions to watch. I have clipped 48 articles, from which we have extracted 133 features that I need to cover across these 7 chapters. And the apps chapter, which is number 5, as always, is comprised of 24 subsections this year. And it's a pretty nice looking system, I gotta say. I'm gonna send you a screenshot in the Discord. This, you will see the kind of system that I'm dealing with. It's a dashboard that shows me chapter by chapter, sections, my related notes, my related sessions, my screenshots. I've been saving a bunch of screenshots that I've been doing. So I have been doing what I've essentially been using this a lot, saving screenshots as I go, and taken the occasional note. My dashboard tells me that I've taken 11 notes, and I've written down a few opening and closing sentences here and there. But mostly, I would say I've just been using the thing. And it'll come to me, I hope, at some point.
Well, I think this is like a symptom of the change in approach, right?
Yeah.
That, like,
Yes.
when it was much more factual in its you could just start writing whenever you wanted.
It was more
right?
mechanical.
Yeah,
Yes.
like detail. But now that you have to weave a narrative through the review, it takes a bit more time to get started. So these numbers at the top, you got all the features like calendar, camera, clock, and there's a number next to them. Are they the features in those apps that you feel like you need to cover? Is
So
that
let
what
me
that
take
means?
a look at that. Let me take a look at the screenshot again. Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
So this is from you, like, sending information into this system, and it categorizes the features, and then you have a little note to go back to them.
So this works in a couple of different ways, and it's been working quite reliably for 25 days. So it's pretty well tested. It's the kind of system that is designed to have the least possible interaction from me, and everything sort of happening in the background. So what I do, like my manual actions, I mean, obviously, besides taking notes manually myself and saving screenshots manually myself, I just want to be able to clip an article, or with the Notion extension in Safari, or clip a session from Apple on YouTube, and everything happens in Notion. I have a custom agent in Notion that is also based on a Notion worker. This is some of the new stuff that Notion has been doing lately. And it basically organizes everything. Understands if the page that was saved into a database is an article or is a video. If it's an article, it summarizes the article. If it's a video, it transcribes and then summarizes the video. Is able to, as some code, so this was created by Fable before the shutdown in June. It runs some code to understand what's the structure of the review, what are the chapters, what are the sections inside the apps chapter, which is the only one that has like sub chapters inside. And in this article that Federico saved, or in this video that Federico saved, what are the features that are being mentioned? So let's say that I save an article from 9to5Mac saying all the new reminders features that are coming in iOS 27. My system takes that article, scrapes it, summarizes it, and understands, okay, this article mentions 5 features. These features, are they already mentioned anywhere else in the features database? If it's a new feature, it saves it as a new feature. If it's an existing feature, it creates a like, what's it called, like a backlink to it.
Yeah.
And so there's this relationship, right, between article, which is my draft, a source, which is what I clip from Safari, and a feature. These are 3 separate databases, and they're all connected to each other. That's how it works.
These aren't just 3 separate databases. This is
It's
one database.
It's actually one database,
Yeah,
and
yeah.
This is the sort of the summary of how it works. It's these 3 different databases talking to each other via an agent in the middle, and the screenshots that I sent you are the web app that is from the web app that is running on my Mac Studio, that is using the Notion API, and there's actually a couple of different things that I can also show you. There is this is quite fancy. This is essentially what you can get with Fable. I had created a little, Stephen is going to appreciate this, a little space theme view of my universe of chapters and features. And it's a little interactive thing that lets
This
you
is like the
zoom in.
Obsidian thing.
Yeah, it's like the Obsidian thing, but made by me and with Fable. And you can zoom in and see all the different things that I have. And I can search all of my features. I can run this. So this thing runs every hour. It talks to my Notion, sees if there are new articles that I clipped or new notes that I took, or I can run it manually. And the final thing I will mention that is really nice is the system knows at what point of the beta season we're at. It talks to the Apple developer RSS feed. The Apple has an RSS feed that tells you what the latest version of an iOS or iPadOS beta is, and it saves that. So it knows that right now we are on beta 2 that was released on June 22nd, and it estimates that we're now at 24% of the typical beta season.
Uh-oh.
And yeah, and what's nice is that when I save a screenshot, so when I was building this, I told Fable, assume that I'm the kind of person that as soon as a beta is released, I will install it right away. And I set this kind of principle so that when I'm saving a screenshot, the system automatically infers that the screenshot belongs to what the latest beta is.
Yeah.
And so now my screenshots are automatically categorized by topic and by beta version. So I have a systematic way of, for example, checking out how the reminders splash screen changed across multiple betas, which is something that I've always wanted to have. I tried to do it manually many, many years ago. It was horrible. Now the AI can do it for me.
All you need to do is remember to take the screenshot.
I take a screenshot, I run a shortcut that uploads the image to my Mac Studio and asks me for a title. If I don't put in a title, it tries to run OCR on the image and try to understand what's going on.
Mm-hmm.
But I just like to write down like reminders splash screen or new toolbar in Safari. That's kind of what I enter. And then the system takes care of everything. And of course, when it will be time to sit down in July and write this, I can open my Notion and I can navigate to a chapter, like say, for example, Apple Intelligence and Siri. And inside of it, and I'm going to send you a screenshot as well. Inside of it, I will see all the things that are related to that. So I can just click to open those things in separate tabs, but I can write my chapter in Notion. So these are all kind of the relations that exist between databases. So I can sit down and say, all right, what sessions do I have about this? What notes did I take? What screenshots do I have about all of this? And I can just open those in separate tabs and write in the main page.
It seems like you've got a pretty decent setup.
It's a decent setup.
Yeah.
It builds upon the setup that I created last year in Notion.
Yep.
And obviously the big change this year was AI. So last year I had to do it all manually. This year I took that iOS 26 setup and I said, this is what I did last year. I want you to recreate it and extend it for me. And it did it. So thank you, Fable. This happened before the United States government intervention, but now
Do
obviously
you think
Fable
it was
is back.
because of this? They're like, no one man can have all this power.
I don't know. I did get flagged for cybersecurity before the Fable shutdown. So maybe
What did you do?
I tried to reverse engineer the
Oh yeah.
the archive file that Apple gives you for Apple Intelligence. It's called an Apple Intelligence System Report. This is something that you can generate on your own in the Settings app on your phone.
But like to the system, it looks like you're doing. They don't know. It looks like you're up to something, right? You're like.
To be fair, Fable freaked out when it got to after my poking. You know, I like to use these agents, and every once in a while, I send a message in the queue, and I'm like, "You're doing a good job. Keep going." It's like you're on a horse, and you're like, "Keep going." You know, when you
giddy up.
And Fable freaked itself out essentially when it understood how to decrypt the names of the servers in Google data centers that are technically encrypted and hashed in that system report.
Right.
And it did that, it decrypted that. And I saw in the thinking steps be like, oh no, this is unsafe.
And also, he's too happy about this.
It's like, so it flagged itself for a cybersecurity attack, but it was still happy enough to give me the URL and the domain of the Google servers that were being used in Europe and North America for Apple Intelligence. So that was pretty cool. Anyway, yeah, it's a decent setup. We'll see.
So I want to talk about the Apple Watch because there's been a couple of rumors circling, which is bringing it front to mind. So first off, there is a rumor pointing to a major redesign coming this year for the Apple Watch Ultra 4 with, quote, significant upgrade to sensing functions, as well as the, quote, major redesign. That's from 9to5Mac. And then also Mac Rumors and 9to5Mac are reporting on the reemergence of the Apple Watch X, we'll just call it X, saying that a big redesign is coming in 2027 for the series line of watches. Leaker Instant Digital implied that it would change the way that bands connect to the watch, meaning that backwards compatibility would end. This is something that has been spoken about before. Mark Gurman was talking about this, about maybe going to a magnetic approach for attaching Apple Watches and watch bands. So all of this, Apple Watch Ultra 4 maybe getting a redesign this year, maybe the regular Apple Watch getting a redesign next year. I wondered if either of you had any thoughts or hopes for what redesign of both of these watches could be, or what you want.
For the Ultra?
Either the Ultra or the Series.
I mean, thinner is always nicer.
Yeah.
The thing is, I don't really have that many wishes for the Apple Watch, but a couple of things I do have. I would like to see more variety in terms of the types of bands that Apple makes. I think they've been kind of the same for a few years now. And the more innovative stuff was left to Hermes, but I'm not buying a Hermes watch band. I would like to see Apple get a little stranger, a little weirder with Apple Watch bands. I'm not sure if a new mechanism helps in that regard.
I think they got pretty hung up on trying to create a new material to replace leather.
Yeah, maybe
Right,
that
I
was
think
it.
that may have been like, and while that it didn't work, so we don't really consider it an innovation, or like it, people weren't particularly happy with fine woven, or tech woven, or whatever it ends up being on. Like, I think that may have kind of stalled them a little bit with some of the band development.
Maybe the other thing, and this is maybe gonna sound a little strange. I would love to see an Apple Watch where Siri AI really works well. The battery lasts a long time, but also where Siri AI has visual intelligence. I guess what I'm trying to say is I wouldn't be totally opposed to the idea of an Apple Watch having a camera. Because there have been so many instances where I was like doing something around the house and it would have been nice to have a little AI right there on my hand, being able to see what I was seeing and guide me through. For example, last year I needed to fix a power cable and I had to put Gemini next to me with the kind of prop up the phone when I was doing this thing on the balcony outside so that I could use Gemini live. And it would have been so much nicer if that was actually on my wrist and not made by Google is a bit of a stretch with Siri AI, but you get my point. Like I wouldn't totally mind the Apple Watch being able to quote unquote see and have visual intelligence features.
Maybe like in the way with the AirPods that is remote.
Yeah,
It's not
I
like
guess
a camera, but
exactly.
it's
Like you're not
sensor.
you're not just walking around holding up your hand in a fist and taking pictures of people, uh, but like having I think people get hung up on this idea having vision capabilities different from being a camera.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Steven, do you have any like wishes for the Apple Watch?
I wouldn't mind the Ultra getting refined a little bit. Like sort of the bulgy sides seem like that could be a little bit more elegant. To me, just the most interesting part of this thing is though they've got 11 or 12 years of Apple band history, and they've never broken it. And we this comes up every so often. We've talked about this before. They have to have a really compelling reason for doing this, and I think there will be people who are upset. So I'm mostly just interested in what that means and what that lets them do. I think on the Series Watch side, the Series 10 and 11 being thinner and with bigger screens, like that form factor feels pretty good to me, and it feels like they've really kind of reached the end state of that original Apple Watch design in a lot of ways. And I agree with Federico, there's room to be weirder. But other than the Ultra just kind of getting cleaned up a little bit, I don't think I have anything super high on the list.
What is a compelling reason for you for them changing what would you consider to be an acceptable reason?
I think if they said, hey, look, we've got 20% more battery in the same chassis because of this change.
Right.
Or it's even, and it's even more secure and easier to deal with. Like, I think those are the sort of the things they're going to rely on, but I don't know.
I wonder if, they'd just be like, well, look at this beautiful new design. We needed to change the right? Like
it could be.
I can imagine it being like what they say is the reason it's like compelling might not necessarily be something that everybody will agree with. In fact, I know people won't like this, but I'm of the opinion of like the Apple Watch design needs to change. Like it has to change for me. Like I think the Apple Watch design is really old now, and I want them to change it in some way. I don't know. I mean, I know the things that I want, but they're not things they're going to do. Like I want a round one. They're not going to do that. But it needs a big refresh, and I really hope that if they're going to do this, it does actually look significantly different in a way that you would be able to tell on someone's wrist that they have the new Apple Watch. That's what I'm talking about, right?
Yeah.
Because I feel like you can't, right? Like, I would say you cannot look at somebody's wrist, like the average person, and be like, well, that's the new Apple Watch. Like, it's just, they're indiscernible from each other. From like maybe Series 3 onwards, like they just look the same. Like they don't look any different. The Apple Watch Ultra, I would like them to lean into the direction that a lot of people wear it, which is they just want the biggest, nicest one.
Mm-hmm.
And not necessarily care as much about extreme fitness and like not make that the pure driver. So like I want different materials and finishes in the Apple Watch Ultra. I don't just want 2 colors of titanium. Like I would like different finishes. Why can't I also have a polished stainless steel one? Like, let me make that decision, you know?
Yeah.
Like, I would like to make that decision.
What about round?
Well, I know, but they're not going to give me round. So, like, I want round, but I got to give up because they're not going to give me round. The screen should be bigger on the Apple Watch Ultra. Bezels are way too big. Like, I don't want the watch to get bigger. It's too big already. But, like, if you look at it, there's so much black around that border of the screen. I want that to be all screen. And I also, like Steven, I would like I really want them to deal with the rounded edge thing that is on all the Apple Watches. I think that's one of the things that I would like them to change. Like, let's just stop doing the bulging at the sides. So yeah, I would like that kind of stuff. Health sensors, I always want more health sensors because I think that's cool. I mean, one of the original rumors for the Apple Watch X is they were going to have some kind of blood sugar sensor, but
yeah,
that feels like, I mean, that just feels too good to ever really imagine it's going to happen in a way. Like,
they've chased it a long time.
Well, because they know how big a deal it would be if they could nail that properly. Yeah. Like, if they could really get that, like, it would be a huge deal for the Apple Watch. But I don't know. It just feels like something like a really hard problem to solve the way that they would need to solve it. But yeah, so I don't know. So yeah, it's going to be interesting to see. I'm keen that we might get some preview in the Apple Watch Ultra 4. I think the Ultra 4 really does need some effort put into it because they have not. Like, I was just talking to Underscore about this of like the Ultra 1 was like, oh wow, here we go. Like, what are they doing now? And then they just didn't really do much, right? Mm-hmm. Like, it's like, oh, okay. Like, we're just gonna. What did they do for the Ultra 2? Like, put a different sensor in it, and then the Ultra 3 is like, now it's black. Like, what are we doing? Like,
they updated. Black was, I think, an update to the 2 even, and then the 3 has a new processor. Yeah, it's been not great.
Well, I think I have a 2, and I have things you don't have. Well, the people who have the 1 don't have. Like, there's at least a sensor or something that, like, maybe it's the temperature.
Maybe it is temperature, and it has the tap gesture. I think
that's what it is. It's the tap thing. So it got the system on a chip that lets me do the tap thing. So the 2 has that, and the 1 doesn't. I mean, and let's not even talk about the fact of what I really want, but they'll never give me, which is just no screen.
Yep, do it.
That's what I really want.
That's not going to happen.
Well, I have dreams for Turnus, right? Like,
we know you do.
Yeah,
stop it. We can't do this anymore. Like, I have a dream that he is gonna make more niche products, right? Like this big rumor about like home stuff, which I definitely think is happening now based on the amount of things that they've put into cameras in the Home app. Like, so much effort has gone into cameras. It feels inevitable that they're going to ship their own like home camera. That is like maybe a market Apple shouldn't bother going into. Like, if you think about them now, it's like that seems way too niche. Like a home security camera, like even the companies that base themselves on this don't seem to be that into it. Right? Like, so is that, but if they're going to get into those kinds of worlds, why not build a little fitness tracker that doesn't have a screen on it? Like, why not do that? Google thinks it's worth doing it, so why don't you do it? So it'd be fun.
Yeah. Did I tell y'all I saw a Fitbit Air in the wild the other day?
I saw a bunch at WWDC, but that's obvious.
Yeah, that's where the people are. Yeah, I was at the grocery store and just like this lady passed me in the aisle and she had her hand like on the cart and it was like just Fitbit Air just sitting there.
Did you ask opinions?
I did not. Generally, I try not to approach people in the grocery store and ask them about tech. Just a personal rule.
Well, that's a rule for you, I guess. In general, do either of you have any real opinions about the Apple Watch now?
Yeah, see, that's the thing. Not really.
It's a bit of a sleepy, isn't it?
Yeah.
Apple Watch.
Yeah. It's like it's dependable. It's kind of there. I don't think about it, which
maybe
is a great
good.
compliment. It's a great compliment to
Yeah.
pay to any accessory that you miss it when it's not there. You don't really have a strong opinion in terms of like, oh, this thing absolutely sucks and must change in such and such ways. Like if the Apple Watch stays exactly like this for the next couple of years, I probably wouldn't mind it. Like it,
Yeah.
and that makes it extremely hard, I think, to innovate, right? For this kind of product that, I mean, obviously nothing is perfect, but you can achieve, and I think Apple has done it, even arguably with the AirPods, you can achieve like an idealistic baseline of a product after many years of iterations. Be like, all right, you know what? That's actually pretty good at this point. Where do we go from here? And that's why, for example, you start getting weirder, right? With the AirPods, you'd be like,
this is
let's put the
probably
cameras
exactly
in.
why they're like, we're going to do a new band mechanism, right?
Yeah,
It's just like,
exactly.
what else can we do? Like
You can
it's
reach
kind
like,
of- yeah.
it's almost like you reach this plateau of goodness. And you're like, well, yeah, people love it. People buy it. It's not terribly innovative at this point, but it's also pretty good.
Yeah.
So it's easier when something obviously sucks under certain aspects because you have your work cut out for you. You know what to do. And it's harder to innovate when something is pretty good and you're like, I can change things at the risk of ruining a good thing.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Yeah, I feel like the combination for me now of the photos watch face, which is like, I love it. You just pick photos of people that you care about and they just show up on your watch face all the time. Like that, I love that thing so much. And you have two complications. So I have the weather on my calendar. Like that's kind of all I need on the watch face. I don't need anything more than that. And then the smart stack. Like that combo for me is brilliant because the smart stack always has what I need in it. Like if I need anything more, like I've said this leading up to WWDC, I don't really think they need apps. Like I don't think the Apple Watch needs apps, like even the way that they are now. I think just widget like information is enough for the Apple Watch. Everything past that, I think, is maybe a little bit excessive. Like, and I think Apple's kind of moved along this line themselves, which is why the smart stack exists, right? It's like, really, we can just give you the information. It's like glances back in the day, right? It's just like,
oh man,
you don't really need to be doing computing on your watch, right? Like, and I think we can probably all attest to it. Anything more than I want to look at this, very frequently you'll just grab your iPhone, right?
For sure.
But like if you can just see the information you need, like that's kind of enough. And I think the smart stack achieves that, and I think it's great. Like, and I think it does a pretty decent job of surfacing which ones I need at any particular time. So I like that combination a lot. I would like them to lean into that even more.
Yeah, I think they've really struggled with how much interaction they want you to do on the watch. Early in its life, like with glances, a feature that's now long gone. It was clear at the time that part of the reason that was there is because the watch couldn't do very much, right? That the app experience was actually kind of bad on the first several versions of watchOS. I mean, you had the thing with like WatchKit. I mean, the UI was like streaming off the phone. Super weird stuff in hindsight. Now it can do more, and you have things like full-blown email apps and fitness apps and a bunch of things on the Apple Watch. But I still think it does still shine in those brief interactions, which is why the smart stack, I think, is such a good idea. In a way, not in a way, it is the spiritual successor to glances. But I like that if I want to do more, I can go deeper. I can go to a full app experience. I do think that is important for the Apple Watch, but I also think they could do more to make Smart Stack and widgets and other things more useful. Like I would, as not an original thought, I would love that scrolled up Smart Stack view that has just the time and like your list of widgets. I would have that as my watch face because I actually like seeing sort of my top 3 things. And you can build a widget with like individual complications. I like that look. And then I can scroll and see stuff more easily than I can on complication. So I think there's room for them to improve, but I do think apps have a place on the Apple Watch still.
Do you remember the Siri face?
I do.
Oh my God, yeah.
That thing would rip with Siri AI. Like, why is it not back?
Yep. I used the Siri face for so long, and then they were like, "We're not doing that anymore." It's like, okay. Sorry, I suppose.
Mm-hmm.
There is that. But yes, I can see that like the person that wants the Apple Watch to be informational, like just having it just always locked to that view is ideal, right? Where I do like it to be nice looking in some way, and I think for me now, the way that it is the nicest looking is with photos.
Sure.
I think it is a very good look, and it's fun, and it's surprising, and also their system for like where it puts the clock and stuff has gotten so good. I think it's a great feature. I really, if you've never tried the Photos watch face in the last like 3 years or whatever, when they changed it, I really recommend it. Like they have, you can choose people, or you can choose like buildings, or like nature scenes and stuff, or pets. If you've not tried it, just try it. Like even if you think like, oh man, I'm like I want my data person. Like just give it a go, because it's truly delightful as of an experience.
It's a great weekend watch face.
Yeah,
for me, like I like having the data, like my next event, fitness stuff, weather. I like having that during the work week, but on the weekends, we're like generally have much fewer events. Photos plus weather is plenty for me. So that's a great way, I think, at least, to sort of explore it.
Yeah.
This episode of Connected is brought to you by Relay's membership program. You can learn more by going to relay.fm/membership or clicking the link in the show notes. On Connected Pro, the membership version of this show, we do extra content at the top of the show. We were talking about the Steam Machine and the Companion Cube and dbrand and what's been going on over there, and kind of the state of game consoles here in 2026. Membership version, so Connected Pro, also has no ads. So you listen to the content straight through, you get extra stuff at the top, and we pick titles at the end. But in addition to the content, you also get access to the Relay members Discord, a bunch of members-only wallpapers, and access to Crossover, which is the podcast feed that has a bunch of extra stuff in it. So each month, there are 2 podcasts only for members that go in there. One is called Backstage, and one is called Spotlight. First one is where Mike and I talk kind of through the business, answer questions. And the second one, Kathy Campbell interviews somebody in the Relay Extended Universe. You also get access to annual specials that a bunch of shows do every summer. Those are rolling out this month. So it's a great time to join. Click the link in the show notes. Connected Pro is just $7 a month or $70 a year, and we would love to have your support.
So I wanted to mention something that Apple has done that really caught me by surprise. They have announced an official MCP server for Safari. This is now available as part of the Safari technology preview, which is like the beta version of Safari. And it's called the Safari MCP server. Pretty generic name. I tested it. I installed it last night, and it quickly became some of my favorite AI-related thing that Apple has done to date. To the point where I think it's actually the best MCP server for a browser that is available at the moment. Now, let me explain. I'm sure you guys have questions. If you have questions, please get them in now so that we can set the baseline for this topic.
Before we go further,
Yeah.
we haven't talked about
Yes.
MCP in a minute. Give us a broad overview of what MCP does and why it's interesting in a browser.
MCP is a standard that is being maintained by an open source foundation that allows large language models in chatbots and agents to connect to and use and retrieve data from external sources. It's a protocol. MCP stands for Model Context Protocol. It's a protocol with an open source spec that has been maintained by this foundation that defines how chatbots and agents, so your ChatGPT or your Claude or your Claude Code, whatever, can connect to a remote source to perform an action or retrieve data from it. Examples of popular MCP servers can be Gmail, for example, if you want to retrieve a message or send an email. Todoist, if you want to get your tasks or edit a task. And there are thousands of MCP servers. The MCP is different from just letting an agent use a CLI. We have talked about command line interfaces before. And there are two schools of thought, essentially. The CLI school of thought is agents are so intelligent now, you just give them a CLI and you let them figure out the CLI without having to be based on a protocol, be based on a spec. Whereas MCP is, no, actually, this is a predefined spec and MCP servers need to respect and adopt this specific spec. I use them both for different reasons, and MCP has improved a lot over the past year. It used to be a year ago that if you installed too many MCP servers in your Claude would become extremely slow because it needed to read all of the instructions for all of the MCP servers and all the tools contained inside each server. Now that's no longer the case. The MCP spec is now much leaner, lightweight, and dynamic. And the big new feature that they added to the MCP spec a few months ago is UI. It's called MCP UI, and that allows MCP servers not just to show you text, but to actually show you little custom interfaces made with CSS and HTML. It's the same standard that OpenAI is using with apps in ChatGPT. They're literally based on the same technology. And finally, I will say MCP servers come in two flavors. You have your local servers that are running on your computer, such as the case for Safari that we'll talk about in a minute. And you have cloud-based MCP servers, such as Todoist. And finally, sometimes you will see these things being advertised as MCP or the word connectors.
Yeah.
They're the same thing. They're based on the same idea. They're based on the same technology. Connectors is just a better English word for, this
It's user friendly.
It's user
less
friendly.
intimidating.
MCP, it's like, what
and
is
it's also
it?
just a better phrase. Like, it just makes more sense.
It's a
Like,
connector.
You're connecting this model to some other data source that you have.
So that's the general description. Now,
So
Safari
okay,
MCP.
so can I ask a question now then? So
Yeah.
like my thought about MCP was always just that like it was like a storage of data that you had and that you were connecting an LLM to that data. How is Safari an MCP?
So MCP is not data storage.
Okay.
MCP is a syntax that defines. It's a server protocol that defines what happens when a large language model reaches your app and wants to do something with it.
Right.
The spec defines the syntax for different types of tools, different types of schemas, and how the data is supposed to be exchanged between those two, between your
Right.
app and between the LLM. And it's usually JSON based. It gets more complicated than that, but this is not a developer podcast.
No.
And also, I'm not a developer by trade. So,
Okay.
with Safari, they're running a little server on your Mac. This is always the case with MCP. There needs to be a server behind it. In this case, it's a local server that is living somewhere inside the technology preview.app. If you show package contents, I'm sure it's in here somewhere. They have the full path in the blog post. Let's see. So this is actually so un-Apple-like. It's kind of refreshing. They're giving you the full commands to run in your terminal. So it's inside Applications, Safari Technology Preview /Contents /macOS. It's called Safari Driver. So Safari Driver is a server that runs on your Mac that contains the MCP. And this server contains a bunch of commands. These are called tools. There's things like close tab, create tab, evaluate JavaScript, list tabs, navigate to URL, and so forth. They're like 20 or so tools. And when you connect to the MCP to Claude or Codex or whatever, it talks to Safari. Safari says, I have these 20 tools, and it performs these actions. When you do, you will see that Safari will create a standalone automation session, which means it opens a separate window. And it will perform the actions that you ask. You will see a message at the top of the Safari window that says, this session is being controlled by Claude or by Codex. The UI for it is not as fancy as Claude in Chrome or computer use by OpenAI. It's kind of bare bones, but it gets the job done. And I gotta tell you, it's probably the best browser MCP I've used. I had this feeling when I saw the list of tools in the blog post. It looked really elegant, but also comprehensive.
Okay.
A good sign for a well-done MCP is when you don't have like hundreds of tools. You see 20, 30 tools that cover all the essentials. And more so, they map these tools to specific features, right? So that's usually a sign of an MCP server that was designed with a clean design in mind. Like, for example, the fact that you have close tab and create tab instead of tab operations, right? There are many MCP developers that make this mistake of sort of putting multiple actions inside the same tool, whereas the more elegant approach is to say, no, close tab is one action, create tab is another action, list tabs is another action altogether. And so that's good design. And the result is that when the agent talks to the MCP server, it doesn't get confused. It doesn't, and I've seen this happen all the time with some MCP server where the agent was talking to it and he performed one action instead of another because the MCP was not really well designed at all.
Right.
And I saw this and I got a sense that like, oh, this looks really elegant and really nicely done. And so to
It's just
confirm,
surprising to me that like,
it's
why
very
does the
surprising.
no. Why does the LLM need to open tabs? Like, that is like weird to me.
Oh man, let me tell you.
Why is it
if
going to
you-
open tabs for? It's a computer.
What?
Like, I just.
What do you mean?
Well, like, I think the browser use stuff is fascinating to me because it's like I would just assume that the computer talks to to the web in a way that is not with UI loading a web page. It's just, it seems very like brute force, I guess. I don't know.
So the reason behind all of this is like all this stuff with browser MCP started because of web developers needing to test their apps
Right.
with LLMs.
Okay.
So that makes
more sense then.
So that's
Yes.
why you want to
Okay.
create a tab and you have actions for like measuring network requests or evaluating JavaScript or switching the viewport, for example.
Mhm.
Like whenever I'm working on one of my web apps or the web apps that I have for the Mac Stories team, I always have one of these browser MCPs installed because you want to do things like, all right, now do the testing. So like test the iPhone layout.
That makes more sense because I'm thinking like if it's like booking something or whatever, and I know they do this, but it's just like I would figure there should just be a database talking to a database as opposed to like
the problem
it's going to
is
go
that
open and click around for you or whatever.
the problem is that sometimes those services don't have
They don't
databases.
want to
Like
do it.
when I'm researching like vacation rentals or something, booking.com doesn't have, at least that I know, like an MCP or an API. So that's why the agent has to use a browser like a fake person, essentially.
It's just such a, I don't know, it just feels so inefficient, but if it's all it can it's all it can do.
It is. But this all started because of web developers, and there's a more than legitimate use for that. So anyway, I had a suspicion that it was really well done, so I asked Codex about it. And I was like, hey, set this up, and then I want you to run a test and compare the 3 browser MCPs: Playwright, which is made by Microsoft, the Chrome extension that you have, which is made by OpenAI, and the new Safari MCP. And I want you to be honest and explain why you prefer one or the other. And Codex, I thought, oh, he's just gonna prefer the OpenAI thing because of like internal bias or whatever. But it didn't. It actually said, I actually think the Safari MCP by Apple is more ergonomic for me because the tools are nicer, the performance is great, and the documentation is great. The description of the tools are really nicely done, and it feels better designed for an agent than Playwright or my own Chrome extension. And I thought, oh, well, that's surprising. So I've been using it all day. It's pretty great, just maybe not as fancy from a visual perspective. Like when you use Claude in Chrome or Chrome with Codex, you got like a special cursor on screen, and the window that is being controlled by the agent gets like a special color.
I can imagine those things.
It's more of a visual affair, but Apple can do it. They have a really solid foundation now, technically speaking, and they can make it all, more visually nicer looking.
Do you think they'll offer this kind of stuff as like an API? I guess they don't need to, right? They don't need to because it's, never mind. That's a silly question. The MCP is the developer tool. They don't need to add more developer tools to that.
Yeah, no, I mean, obviously this will be, if I were to guess, this will be locked behind enabling the developer menu in Safari.
Yeah.
Also, before you can use it, you need to toggle a checkbox that asks for your password or Touch ID.
Yeah.
That is called, let's see, you need to enable the developer menu. Then you go into the developer menu, and it's called Allow Remote Automation and External Agents. So you need to enable that, and then you're off to the races. And this joins the Xcode MCP that Apple did. So Apple now has 2 MCP servers that I know of, Xcode and Safari. Please make more.
I've heard really good things about the Xcode stuff too.
It's really well done too.
Seems like this is a technology that they understand and are doing good with.
Yeah, they're doing a good job. Please make more of them. Thank you.
I think that does it. Anybody got anything else?
We did it. I think we did it.
We did it. We've made it to the end. That means I'm going to tell you a bunch of stuff if you're ready. Links to things we spoke about are in the show notes. They're in your podcast player, and they're also on the web at relay.fm/connected/610. You can do a bunch of cool stuff at that website because websites are cool. The internet is a nice place sometimes. You can leave us feedback, leave us a note. You can make it anonymous if you want. Drop us a line. There's a form there on the site. And you can join and get Connected Pro, the longer and ad-free version of the show that we do each and every week. If you want more of us in the meantime, you can find Federico over at macstories.net, where he is the editor-in-chief. You can find Mike across a bunch of shows here on Relay and his writing at theenthusiast.net. And you can find my writing at 512pixels.net. I'd like to thank Squarespace for sponsoring this episode. And until next time, guys, say goodbye.
Arrivederci.
Cheerio.
Bye, y'all.